Hi everybody, it's RPG Grandma. I'm outside on the cell phone. A little quiet to film this. Alright, so in the short, I suggested that one good tip to being a better player in a role-playing game is to have a backup character. Now, part 2 of that is, just in case something happens to your character that you are playing, is to make sure your referee, for whatever role-playing game you're playing, knows you have a backup character ready to go. They've seen it, they've okayed it, whatever your concept is, okay? And then if you have to bring that character into play, because something happened to the first one in that particular adventure sessions, the quote campaign, make another one, do the same thing, bounce it off the DM, etc. All right, so you always have a backup ready to go. Also, sometimes referees are, they want you to do stuff to the backup character as the campaign's progressing. Sometimes they don't. So this will give you a chance to find out how your referee thinks about new characters. And also, game system matters a lot, too, on these kind of things. All right, so there is that. Now, another thing you can do is, just like I told the game masters, if they want to make a change in the table, in rules, or attitudes, or how the game is approached, you pick the one thing you want to change, and you work on that one thing until that change has been created. And then you add another thing. You don't try to do 20 things at once, because that's not the path to success. You didn't learn to walk by suddenly just standing up and walking when you were a baby. It went through a whole bunch of stages. Rocking on your tummy, trying to roll over, eventually getting to where you could maybe pull yourself up a little bit. Eventually you could stand, and then when you take a step, you always fell down. Eventually you could walk. Eventually you could run, all right? But it takes a long process. Well, everything's like that. You take a lot of little baby steps sometimes to get to where you want to be. But you don't always have to be like, hey, everybody, you all have to do what I'm doing. No. Some things you can just take the proverbial horns of and just start doing. An example, let's say you want to do more for first-person speaking. And that's not really going on at the table. The referee doesn't really do that. Who cares? You can still do it. Go ahead and practice. There's nothing stopping you. The table will figure out what you're doing really quickly. More than likely, you're not going to get chastised. If you don't want to ask questions, letting them go by. But you want to figure out information using different grammar, spoken grammar. There's nothing stopping you. You just start doing it. That's an example. If you want to put more, if you don't want to sit there static all the time and just use descriptive words about what you're doing, but you want to put some body language into it, there's nothing stopping you. So there are things you can work on individually where it doesn't matter what the rest of the table or even the referee is doing. Obviously, some things, if you try to impose that on everybody else and they're not on the same page, then you're going to end up in conflict. But if it's just you moving from, damn, is there a chandelier in the room, to I look up to see what's on the ceiling. You're basically asking the same question. You're asking for more information about what's above you in the manor, but you're going about a different way. You will get the answers, period. Okay? So that is all up to you. If you want to do if you want to change to I pick up the sword versus Tabor picks up the sword, Tabor being your character, you can easily do that and start practicing that and start testing it out and see if you like that or if you don't. Even if your table is all doing the third person, you can still try first person out. Nothing's stopping you, for example. Or maybe you've only ever done first person and you've gotten in your head you want to try third person. And there's no rules about that at your table, which person you have to be in and grammar-wise. There's nothing stopping you from trying that. So think about the things you might want to do better when you're playing your role-playing games as a player, and pick one thing to improve. I said, like, take notes. I mean, people are like, well, my DM always answers the question, well, what if someday you play with a DM that's like this? Y'all got a bag of gold. All right? You forgot to write down how much it was. Nobody else takes notes. They forgot to write down how much it was. A couple sessions later, everybody remembers there's this big bag of gold, but nobody remembers how much is in it. So you go, hey, DM, how much, a couple sessions back was in that bag of gold? Now, you were told at the then, and if it's not being filmed and you can't go back and look, if your DM is really forgiving, they'll tell you. If your DM is unforgiving, you open the bag and discover the gold that you thought was in there has turned to lead. Seriously. You might be saying, like, what a jerk. But is that a jerk move, or is that an attempt to teach you to keep track of your stuff? Pay attention. Okay? Paying attention. Pro tip number 3 in this. Pay attention. Do not be doing other stuff. Pay attention. Otherwise, you miss what's going on. That's how your characters end up dead, or you don't get the loot, or you don't find the super secret squirrel ring or whatever. Don't be playing on your cell phones, watching TV, etc. There's all kinds of things you can do. If you want to try having a funny accent, go for it. There's no reason why you can't, is what I'm getting at. So, those are just a few things. A lot of the things that make for a better game master also make for a better player when you start thinking about it. So there's a lot of people out there that thinks that y'all think it's about optimum builds. And that's how you're going to be the best at the game. Well, not necessarily. If everybody's doing the same optimum builds, first of all, that gets boring. I'm just going to tell you. Second of all, you're going to often pigeonhole yourself into not trying out new things. So this is where pretending to be a dungeon master or a referee might be a good idea when you're a player, when you go to create a new player character. Just sit down, either with your 4d6 or your 3d6 or whatever the rules of the game require, and roll and do like A, B, C, D, E, F. You're not going to write down, whatever order the ability stats are. Some games is only 4 or stuff like that. But whatever your game is that you're playing, and write the numbers down. Just write them down. Okay. Now, looking at the raw numbers, think outside of the box. Not, I rolled a 6. Okay, well, why might a character have such, a low constitution or a low IQ or something like that? Does your character even need to be in their prime out adventuring? Could they be a kid? Could they be an old person? When you have some, quote, hopeless stats, stop seeing him as hopeless. Start thinking of him, well, if I had to make an NPC, what would this person be? Okay. And think along those lines and create a character. Tell yourself you're making an NPC. Create a character that way, and then see if it's a character that you'd like to play. Just do this as practice, a character concept, and then bounce it off your referee. You know what? Can I play an 8-year-old? I think it'd be kind of fun. Can I play a 70-year-old? Old man. A guy with a peg leg. Everybody complains about, needing backstories. Well, if you're playing somebody who's 50, who's got a peg leg, there's a backstory there. Okay? And for some reason, they're adventuring. Does it mean your character is going to be challenged? Maybe. But that's part of the fun. Stop seeing disadvantages as disadvantages and instead see them as these sort of challenges as opportunities to create memorable player characters, not just memorable NPCs. All right? Think outside the box. I've got a list of PCs, and I got 2 I got to sit down and make. I've got the concept, possibly 3. So I'm going to roll some dice for those, and those are going to be for probably D&D 5e. And I'm going to be bouncing them off the DM. Probably 5e. Well, I might make them for 2e or something. But I'm going to make some out-of-the-box characters. Not what you see anymore in people gaming. And I think it'll be fun. That's why I'm playing such a weird thing in 5e. I've never played a Minotaur. Let's play a Minotaur. I've never played an Artificer. Because there's lots of different classes, just never did it. I want to be an Artificer. The DM in the 5e game I'm playing okayed it. It wasn't my only choice. I had like a list of things that were much more conservative. But they were cool with it, so I'm running with it. I'm exploring Minotaur culture. Now, so think outside the box. Don't see bad stats as bad. See them as opportunities for awesome characters. There's more. I just thought of one and it just flew out of my brain. So I'll do another one of these because I'm sure it'll come back to me and be like, oh yeah, that other thing. But don't do exactly what everybody else is doing when it comes to character builds. Quote, builds. Stop thinking it like that. Otherwise, everybody ends up playing the exact same, what is it now? Species, whatever. Doing the exact same classes. Don't do that. Embrace diversity the right way by being crazy with it. So everybody have fun, though. I will emphasize that. You do need to have fun. Relax. And I know I mentioned it before, but if you're not relaxed when you're playing, you really can't get the best out of your game. So just remember, everybody makes mistakes. The difference is how you handle the mistakes. Okay? Don't be beating up on yourself about it. You look at them as learning experiences. You look at them as you just roll with it. You don't harp on it. All right? And in some cases, like if you are the guy in charge of the game, aka the referee, they make mistakes too, but they usually handle it like the boss and just like, yeah, I meant to do that. Okay? Yeah, but later they'll be all like, oh, what was that rule? back because they couldn't remember something, so they had to make a judgment. Players do the same thing. So, and then when those sort of things happen, be like, hey, yeah, boss, I think after a long rest in these current rules, we get all our hit points back. Is that right? Or are we rolling for them? Just find out. Maybe there's a table roll you didn't know about. Like I said, after the game, or before the next game. So, those are some simple ideas to help improve your game play. Relax. Try things out. All like cool and not all. Don't be a drama queen. Oh my God, don't be a drama queen at the table. That's the other one. This is going to be a longer video. It's going to take forever to upload. Don't be a drama queen. All right. And if you're a drama queen at the table. Like everything is something that you're triggered over. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. It's no fun, and eventually you're going to be asked not to come and play. So act like a grown-up, not like a 5-year-old, okay? Very important. All right. So those are my suggestions for another spitballing session on how to be a better player. Peace, love, have fun rocking your rolls and playing your games, however your table does it. Okay? Bye.